Peace and blessings, everyone. I want to talk about miracles. Uh, Miracles in general, miracles specifically dealing with something that I ran into online this evening, and specifically dealing with myself, my own wishes, wants, and beliefs of being able to perform miracles. All right, so first off, the word miracle. So we say a miracle is held to be the occurrence of something that was believed to be impossible. The occurrence of something that was believed to be impossible. As I've stated before, I don't believe that there is such a thing as impossible or impossibility. There's only levels of difficulty. Excuse me. Degrees of difficulty. Lesser odds of something occurring. So there's odds of 2 to 1 or something happening, odds of 1 to 2 to something happening, odds of 1 in a million, odds of 1 in a billion, 1 in a trillion, 1 in a trillion raised to the trillionth power. 1 to the trillionth raised to the trillionth power raised to the trillionth power times the trillion raised to the trillionth power for infinity. I believe it only comes down to odds and how long it would take for something to occur. I believe all things are possible. And whenever I think about it, and I try to think deeper about it, I just have no reason to believe that there's nothing that is impossible. It's just a matter of time. And maybe at the same time, I'm going to say there's no reason that I may hold that something could occur that may seem possible. For instance, humans being able to fly without the assistance of some mechanical thing, some mechanical wings or whatnot. But I believe it's possible. I believe that I can fly. I just have to figure out how. And if I can't fly now, it doesn't necessarily mean that humans won't be able to fly in the future. I just have no reason to believe it, because we know there are animals that can fly. Then why can't humans fly? Eventually, if not now, eventually. So a miracle. So thus, I don't believe in miracles. And if you think about it, once again, saying that a miracle is something occurring that was felt that is impossible to occur, well, it's in essence, once a miracle does occur, it has eliminated itself as being a miracle. Because you're saying, well, something couldn't have happened or shouldn't have happened, but it did. It's a miracle. Well, once it did occur, then that means that it could happen. It was possible to happen, and it did happen. So it's like once it occurs, it eliminates itself. That's my thought on it. So, and then specifically, like I said, I ran across this article. It's entitled, "Is it a miracle that Colwich man survived? Colwich athlete's story catches eye of Vatican investigator." So there's this young man who Chase Keir is his name. He had an accident. He's on track team, fell on his head during pole vaulting practice in October. And so the doctors were saying that he was not going to make it. Then there's a group of people who prayed for him and over him, and actually prayed in the name of someone specifically. in the name of Father Capon, a chaplain assigned to U.S. Army's 8th Cavalry Regiment, which was surrounded and overrun by Chinese Army and North Korea in October, November 1951. Capon became a hero, rescuing wounded soldiers from the battlefield and risking death by preventing Chinese executions of wounded Americans too injured to walk. All right, so he had done these things and he died. And so it is saying that, for one, the doctor said that this young man wasn't survived. So these people have prayed in the name of this chaplain, right? They prayed to God in his name. And so thus they believe that it was through the power of praying. It says, in part because his family and hundreds of friends successfully prayed thousands of prayers to the soul of Father Emile Capon. Right? So they're saying because of praying to this father's soul, that's what brought around that. Thus, that is what brought about this miracle. And so the Vatican is going to investigate it, and they're going to investigate to see if it is a miracle, and thus look further to canonize this father as a saint. And they have requirements for doing such. It has to be proven, and how you prove it, I'm not sure. It has to be proven that miracles were performed in the name of this person that's prayed. So I guess all they can do is talk to doctors. The doctors can say how he shouldn't have survived. Once again, they can say that he shouldn't survive, but there was a chance for him to survive. No matter what, there was always a chance for you to survive because there is a state of survival. You know what I'm saying? When everyone is born, you have a chance of, in birth, of living or dying, because that is something that exists within our realm of existence. You can live or you can die. Some people die at birth. Some people, of course, come to birth, live on until they die in old age. But because the ability exists for something to occur, well, then there's a chance that it could occur. People, you can get shot from one bullet wound. You can get shot in an arm and die, or you can get shot 9 times, like 50 Cent, in different parts of the body, in the face and everywhere else, and live. Now, is that a miracle that 50 was shot those times and live? Or there's been numerous people who've been shot numerous times and live. And people shot with a wound like this, a bullet out of 22 or something, and died. Things occur, because those are things that occur within our realm of existence. So no matter how bad an accident is, because there exists a point where you can't survive or you can't live. Well, that means it's possible to survive and live. That means that it can occur. No matter how great, die, your head could be split open, your brain could fall out. If there's a chance, and there's a chance, then there's always a possibility. The odds are greater that it might not occur. The odds are greater that you die if your head got chopped off. But that doesn't eliminate that it's total impossibility for you to survive. Right? It's just that the chances are spread out. The odds are decreased that you will survive. So once again, I don't know how they're gonna prove that it was a miracle. They go to doctors and doctors says they didn't believe it. But still, you didn't have to believe that. Even if the doctors said there was a 1 in a quadrillion chance that he would survive, and he did, how we still prove that it was these people's prayers? Because there are people who pray all the time, every day, for their loved ones, to no avail. All right. I have some occurrences within my family. I have 2 of my sisters. One is my older sister. She's at least we're going on 41 or so now, and in her mid 30s. she developed um, a bipolar disease ailment. She became bipolar, and so now she's at a state where she of course has to do drugs, and usually people who are bipolar, schizophrenic, the drugs makes them feel terrible, so they don't want to take the drugs, and of course they need the drugs to keep them stable, and so she's in and out of the mental institutions, and people on the edge. She's unstable, and yet my family, her mother, my father, who are married, she's actually my stepsister, but her mother, they're married. They are Christians. They go to church every Sunday. And thus they have prayed for her to be made whole or well, to get over ailment, but to no avail. It hasn't worked for the last, like I said, she's been going, I don't know, 10 or 15 years now, but it hasn't worked. And I'm sure they're the only ones that pray for it. They have brought this to the church, for the people in the church, for the congregation to pray for this. But it hasn't been answered. It's in the Bible, if you pray in Jesus' name, that a miracle or a healing should occur. It's supposed to occur. And that happens all the time. Well, let's not get into that. But the fact is, it's not happening for whatever reason. If it's just God doesn't want to heal her, it's meant for her to be sick, then so be it. But it does, it calls into question the truth of prayer, the power of prayer. And there's been experiments done, set up for people, prayer groups, and people in hospitals, a group of prayer. People have prayed over somebody, and the other group, nobody prayed. And I think it's come out like basically the same or something like that. At least the same, or the people who weren't prayed for got better quicker than the ones who were prayed for, something like that. So it's at least close, something like that. Like I said, but this goes on around the world constantly. This prayer, people praying, and prayers being unanswered. So once again, go to this young man, and so if you accept that this was a miracle, and that praying to this certain person, this chaplain, this father, is what helped him to overcome this, then in my mind, that means that everybody should be able to pray in his name and heal everyone. So thus my family can heal my sister. Oh, and I forgot my other sister. I have a younger sister who I guess she's about 28, who has breast cancer in both of her breasts, and that spread to her arm. And so she's going to start chemotherapy. She's going to have to get a mastectomy? Is that what it is? Her breast removed. And of course, once again, she was prayed for, but once again, the prayer was not answered for whatever reason. What is the truth of that? God doesn't answer prayers. There is no God. God sometimes does, and he doesn't. And if he does as he chooses, why ever pray? Because ultimately, and it really does in life in general. If God has a plan, there's no need for you to pray to him or ask for anything, because if it's not part of his plan, then he's not going to do it. All right. And if it's something that you don't want, but is part of God's plan, well, then you're going to get it regardless. All right. So if it's part of God's plan for my sister to develop cancer, then there's no use in praying for it. It was going to happen regardless. Okay. So, and these are things, this is the truth of things that we must face, and we have to face to be able to move forward as a being. Truth comes first. Right? So that's that. And then for me personally, I want to be able to heal people. I feel in essence that I should be able to heal my sisters. Because once again, I don't see why not. I don't see it as an impossibility for me to heal them, because there exists a state of being within our existence reality for my one sister not to have cancer, and for my other sister to be of sound mind, that state exists. It existed at one time. One time before my sister developed cancer and before my sister became bipolar. So once again, that state of existence exists. Thing is, how can I bring it about again? And I believe I should be able to perform miracles. Once again, miracles are things that I believe that shouldn't be done, that I should be able to do it. But it just becomes a matter of me learning how to do it, figuring out how to do it. What does it take? And I think it just might come down to there's so much power in our mind, right? And that goes to the fact that I believe that the power is within us, period. God is within us. The power is within us. The power to free ourselves, to raise ourselves to a higher consciousness, a higher state of being, to perfection is within us, ourselves. So what would it take for me to do that? Does it take for the other person to believe in me that I could do it? Or what? Or is it that I have to train my mind? Would it just take my own part? Would I be able to heal somebody just by me meditating and training my mind and being able to do it? Or does it take both parties? But I would be willing to that attempt. If somebody's willing to believe in me healing them, then I can believe in myself and the ability to heal you. And it may just take that, us truly believing on both parts. If you can believe in me, then I'll believe in me for you, to help you. So that's it. God bless everyone. Peace and love.